Hey, practice builders, how are you? It is so good to be here with you today. And in today's live training, you are going to learn my secret sauce for boosting your sales authentically so that you don't feel salesy. So I want to welcome you all, welcome everyone, especially those that are listening live, and as well as those of you who are joining me on the replay. Really happy to have you all here today. And just wanted to check in. How are you? Gosh, I'm super excited myself. I'm starting to see the light here in Illinois. We are slowly opening up, actually more towards the end of the month, but at least the end, or at least, you know, I'm starting to see the light. Let's just put it to you that way. And as you can see, we have a beautiful day here in Chicago. So looking forward to getting out and getting some outdoor exercise later today. So anyway, what is the first thing that you want to do once this quarantine is over? Just curious. Let me know in the chat. I can tell you, for me, it's going to be a night out with some friends, maybe some dinner out with the family and or friends, and definitely a haircut. Cannot wait to get a haircut. All right, so for those of you that are just joining me, again, I want to welcome you. Welcome. I also, before we get started in today's topic, I did want to share a special opportunity. And this is my 4-day complimentary training. It's a series on how to create a kick-ass sales funnel to help you to fill your online course or group program. And so you're going to want to stay tuned for more information on that. But in a nutshell, you're not going to want to miss this. It comes with a very in-depth workbook. And these are strategies that I've used myself over the years to do $80,000 launches. So you're going to get a sneak peek into kind of the behind the scenes. So go ahead and I'm going to recommend, if you want to take a peek at what this is all about, go to leslibitel.com, fill your online course. leslibitel.com/fill your online course. And we start next week. So you definitely want to grab your seat, and I look forward to seeing you next week for this special 4-day training. All right, Lesli Bitel here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a business coach and mentor for integrative functional health professionals. And in my work, I help health professionals in private practice really to overcome that sense of confusion, that sense of overwhelm that's so common, that's often associated with the business side of building a profitable and thriving practice, specifically online practices. So the bottom line, the end result is I help people to be able to make a great living doing the work that you love. So I'm really passionate about that. And you can visit me at leslibitel.com for more information. All right. So let's jump in. I want to find out from you before we get into the actual content, where I'm going to share the secret sauce for boosting your sales with authenticity. Give me a hands up if you struggle with creating an offer that really feels irresistible to your clients. I know I did. I can certainly relate. So today I'm going to be sharing my own secret sauce, so to speak. These are strategies that are really tried and true, and they work regardless of whether you have an actual physical product, a digital course or product, or even a service. Services sometimes are a little more challenging because they're less tangible, right? We can't hold it in our hands and look at it. So these strategies are really important. I've learned them over the years. I come from a very long background, 13 years in the corporate setting in the pharmaceutical industry in marketing and sales. So I'm going to share some of the secrets that I think are going to be really instrumental in helping you to position your offer, again, with authenticity, but more equally as important is to position it so that it's absolutely irresistible, and so that you're creating that sense of urgency with your audience, because that's really what we want. It is so easy to wait and to think about it. And really that's what we want to help people get off the fence and just simply make a decision. So I'm going to be sharing how to overcome some of those challenges in just a moment. All right, so let's jump in, shall we? All right, so here we go. So again, if you're just joining the call, I am going to be sharing my secret sauce for boosting your sales with authenticity without feeling salesy. So the first thing that I want to share with you is the first strategy is all about creating that irresistible offer, right? So what makes for an irresistible offer that's actually easy to sell? There's actually a few criteria, but I would say probably the most important thing, and again, this is important regardless of whether or not you've got a physical product, a digital course, or if you're selling any kind of a service, okay? Regardless, this works for all of the above. The most important thing that you're going to want to really tune into is whether or not you're irresistible, that your offer is irresistible to your target audience. So what do I mean by that? Well, honestly, your offer, whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is you're offering to your audience, it really needs to address and solve really what your target market considers to be urgent problems, right? So again, it needs to address or solve urgent problems that your audience is struggling with, and they need to know that they have this problem, right? And ideally, they are actively seeking a solution. And the reason that is so important is because a lot of times we think that we know what people need. And, we very well may know what they need, but that doesn't always equate to what they think they need or what they are willing to invest their hard-earned money into purchasing, right? So there's sometimes a very significant disconnect. And honestly, it's heartbreaking when I see, very well-intentioned practitioners spending all kinds of time and effort and investing, resources into creating programs and online courses that just don't really solve their target market's most significant problems, right? And so what ends up happening in those cases is, well, you can guess it, these products don't sell very well. So I want you to be really cognizant. A great irresistible offer really needs to solve a problem that's very much top of mind for your target audience. And it's actually something that they are actively looking for, right? They're actually looking in the marketplace to solve this problem, all right? So if you can do that, you are going to be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. I promise you that. And so how do you ascertain, how do you figure this out? Like, how do you know if your program, your online course, or your service is positioned to sell? Honestly, that's where some market research comes into play, right? So I recommend that you validate your idea by doing a little market research. And the way you can go about doing that, there's all kinds of ways. Probably my favorite way is to do a survey, right? You can do a survey. There's all kinds of tools. I really like Google Forms. I did a survey in the fall, and it really helped validate my idea for a new course that I was creating. And what was so awesome about that is, based on the data I got back, it really gave me the confidence to move forward and really invest my time and my resources into producing this course, because I knew that it met one of the most, the highest needs of my target market. And I knew that this was something that they were looking for, and that it was something that would solve their problem, and that they'd be willing to invest their hard-earned money into learning what I was teaching, okay? So you can do a survey. You can, do a little looking around in Facebook groups where your target market's hanging out. That's another really good way to find out. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Your offer needs to also deliver the results that they seek. All right. So this is really important too. You need to be able to articulate very clearly, what are the transformations that are going to result from them investing their time and their money into, going through your process, right? Either a course or coaching or counseling, whatever it is that you do. So it's really important that you can articulate not only what problems your offer is solving, but also what are the transformations that your program or your offer is going to provide for your target market. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here shortly. I do have a little bit more that I want to share. And I just want to take a peek. Hey, Brienne, how are you? So good to see you. Thanks for joining me. All right. So is everybody clear on that part? All right. So it's really, really important that whatever it is that you're selling, again, it doesn't matter what it is, but it ideally is positioned to solve a very urgent problem that your target market's experiencing. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next one. All right. The next thing is, let me just say, a really great kind of no-brainer, irresistible offer also has bonuses. All right. So I'm going to explain quite a bit more about what I am talking about in terms of bonuses, because for many of you, this might be kind of a newsflash, right? So you, in a nutshell, you're going to want to reward decisive action, right? Decisive decision-making with some juicy bonuses. People love bonuses, right? So the thing I really want to drive home here is that your biggest competition out there right now is not other coaches. It's really not other practitioners. Like, this is such a common, I'd say, myth out there. It is not other people, actually. Your biggest competition is your client's inertia, their inability. Well, they get in their own way, right? They have a hard time making a decision to step forward. And a lot of times that is based on their own internal fears. Fear of making a decision, fear of investing in themselves, fear that, they're going to be the only one that, for whatever reason, it doesn't work for. And honestly, I would say even a bigger fear for your target market quite often is fear of change. Fear of change is absolutely huge. So you're dealing with all kinds of, your target market is really quite fearful in general, right? So we then, they want the change, and they hopefully recognize that this problem is urgent, okay? So that is super important. The thing, in order to help them to move forward in their decision, right, to invest in whatever you are selling, I have found that we need to reward them for making a decision, right? So we need to provide some kind of a bonus or incentive or reward. Ideally, I'm going to give you some ideas in terms of what this could look like, all right? Ideally, these are going to be bonuses that are related to your main offer. So I'll give you a couple of examples on what I mean. So it could be something like maybe an extra workshop or something that is going to make them more successful when they work with you, right? That could be a really great bonus. The key here is that by positioning your bonuses, it really adds some urgency, and it incentivizes them to actually make a decision without you having to be pushy. So it's really a beautiful strategy, and honestly, it's a win-win for you and for your target audience. So let me give you a couple of examples in my own business. So as many of you know, I have a program called the Six Figure Biz Academy, and this is a group coaching program. I provide, literally everything, soup to nuts, everything you could possibly need or possibly need to know in order to build your own thriving private practice, okay? It's a 6-month program, and so what an example of a bonus that I offer when I'm launching that program, is I give, I think the last time I launched it, I offered the first 11 people that signed up a 1-hour special bonus complimentary coaching call with me. Okay, it's a private coaching call. And so that makes, people that are thinking about joining, but are maybe, maybe they're thinking, oh, you know what, I'd like to do it, but I think I'm going to think about it a little bit more. It helps move them off the fence. It helps move them into action. And it's just a little bonus, right? And it's something that's really super helpful for them. It's super valuable. I don't normally offer one-on-one, coaching calls for anyone in my business anymore. I only work in programs and packages. And by doing so, right, I'm incentivizing people that are ready to take action. And I'm also providing something that's going to help them potentially be even more successful, right? So do you see the synergy there? That's really important. I have another idea. I have in some of my courses, some of my online course launches, I've offered like a special workshop. For example, managing your money mindset. I've offered like a special 2-hour workshop to help people, because in my courses, I literally help people become more profitable in their businesses, right? So as they're starting to make more money, sometimes the mindset can trip people up, right? There's all kinds of, self-talk issues, and, quite often we have challenges when it comes to feeling worthy to make a nice income doing the work that we love. So I have found, as another example, if I offer, maybe a 2-hour, special workshop on managing your money mindset for perhaps, the first, 15 or 20 people that sign up for one of my courses, that can be an incredible incentive as well, right? It's fun for me. I'm doing it in a group. I'm serving lots of people all at once. They're getting incredible value. And it also can help them be more successful in the actual course that they're buying. All right. So hopefully you can see how this works. So bonuses and incentives are huge. And ideally, you want to offer something that is going to be very synergistic to your core offer. So I'm going to share two, you guys might have heard me say this before, because it's really important, like 2 of the secrets, so to speak, in marketing and sales really comes down to creating both things, a sense of urgency and scarcity. Okay, urgency and scarcity. So ideally, there's going to be, scarcity and urgency built into your offer. So let me kind of define that. So we can do this by offering a couple of different types of bonuses. So in terms of creating more of a sense of urgency, again, these are really designed to help your client to move past their own internal inertia, so to speak, and just help them to make a decision. Honestly, guys, I would rather get a no any day than, oh, let me think about it, or, I'm just not ready to decide, right? I would absolutely rather just, help that person come to their own, decision than them continually pondering and deciding and kind of weighing it out, kind of torturing themselves with this decision-making process. So again, I recommend that you look at it the same way. You just want to entice people to make a decision. And okay, so the first kind of bonus is creating a sense of urgency, right? And again, it's really positioned to help people get past their own inertia and just to make a decision. So, basically what could happen and what very well is likely to happen with this type of bonus is perhaps, you're coupling a cool bonus, again, that's really positioned to help that person, potentially be even more successful. And then, they may be thinking like, oh my gosh, I might as well invest in myself right now, because I can also get these cool bonuses if I buy today, right? Or, over the next day or two, whatever your parameters are, right? So it creates a little bit of a sense of urgency, which is super important in decision making. Otherwise, honestly, it can be so easy to put it off. And guys, I can tell you, I've done that myself. I absolutely have done that for things that I was really excited about, right? I thought, wow, this is great. I'm going to definitely invest in this program. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And then it just, I never did, right? So that's why even if that person has the best of intentions, if you don't offer some kind of a bonus just to close, that decision-making loop, quite often the deal can fall apart, okay? So that's why it's super important. All right, and then, so we have two types of bonuses. We have urgency and scarcity. So let's talk about the second type, which is scarcity. So the bottom line here is that you're not, and these can be two different kinds of bonuses in your offer. The scarcity bonus is where you're offering a limited quantity of something, right? The urgency bonus is really, it revolves around, again, creating a sense of urgency just as a nod to their willingness to make that decision a priority. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So scarcity would be, where you're offering only a few, right? Only a handful of these special bonuses, and once they're gone, they're gone. So it could be, for example, the first, 10 people that sign up for an online course get this special bonus, right? Again, remember those examples I gave earlier with my Six-Figure Biz Academy, where sometimes I'll offer, a special private one-on-one coaching call for the first X number of people that actually commit. And then sometimes I'll just offer like a special workshop for the first X number of people that sign up for my online courses. So those are two examples that I really like. So, so scarcity, once they're gone, they're gone. And that really helps people move off the fence into making a decision, okay? All right, so now let's talk about this is another really, really important tip that I wanna share. And it really speaks to, I would say, let's just say a very common mistake, okay? All right, so what am I talking about? Basically, this tip is all about you selling the destination, not the vehicle to get them there, all right? Now you're probably thinking, what is she talking about? All right, so what I mean by this is, and this is honestly, this is probably the biggest mistake I see people make in their discovery calls. It's super easy to do, and you just really want to listen to this one because it could change everything for you. All right, so basically what I'm getting at here is in your discovery calls, in your offer, in your copy, your sales copy, your sales page, whatever it is, whatever your medium is for communicating with your target market, you do not want to focus tons of space and real estate and time on the service delivery, okay? What do I mean by service delivery? How you're going to get them there. In other words, your process, all right? They get, 5 coaching calls in a, 2-month period or whatever it is that you're offering. People don't care so much about how you're going to get them to the transformation. What they really care about is, can you solve my key problems? And what are the transformations that are likely to occur if I buy your program or your service or your product? That's what people care about. So when it comes to making an offer, most people, do a great job of giving great value. But when it comes to making their offer, honestly, what tends to happen is they switch, the ratio changes, and not for the better. You want to be spending probably only 10% of your time talking about how you're going to get the person to the end result that they desire, and 90% of your time and effort or real estate or space on a sales page talking about what's possible for the person, the actual transformations that are likely to occur, All right. I hope that's clear for everybody because it's really, really important. Most people, they do the opposite in the discovery call or clarity call, right? They tend to talk on and on, like 90% of the time is focused on their process because, to us as practitioners, like the process is really cool. It's really interesting and we're really excited about it. Maybe we have a unique approach to helping people. And it's fine to mention that. But guys, just remember that's not what nudges people into a buying decision. What really excites people is not so much how you're going to get them there, but what's it going to be like once I'm there, right? So you're basically selling the destination, not the means to getting them there. So one example is, like if I am going to Hawaii, for example, it would be like, someone trying to sell me the plane, right? Or, the attributes of the plane that's going to get me there. I don't really care about that. What I want, what I'm super fired up about is, oh my gosh, Hawaii, are you kidding me? It's gorgeous. The beaches, the cliffs, the views, the photo ops, the sights and smells, right? The food, everything about Hawaii is incredible. But if you talk to me about the airplane, like, what kind of seats I'm going to sit in, or the food on the airplane, or, those kinds of things, I really don't care. That is not going to get me excited, right? So I hope that makes sense. I think that's a pretty good analogy. So you really want to focus most of your effort in those calls and on your sales pages and really all of your sales efforts, not on how you're going to get them there, because they don't care about that so much. They care a little bit, like 10%. Mostly you're going to be talking about what the destination is going to be like. So super, super important there. So let me give you an example. In my business, instead of telling people, going on and on about, having a 6-month program where, they get, private coaching sessions each month, and they get, X number of mastermind calls each month, and all the things that are included. Instead, I would talk about, my program providing the ability for them, my clients, to gain financial freedom in their lives. I would talk about the ability of, my program as being a mechanism to help them to, to be their own boss and to create a successful and thriving business doing the work that they love, right? And I could also talk about, the fact that I help people create a sense of location freedom in their business, right? So the ability to run a super profitable online practice literally from anywhere in the world. Now, doesn't that sound way more exciting than, okay, so you get 5, X number of sessions in the 6-month program. You can email me in between sessions. Like, that's important, but it's not as important or as exciting as the results and transformations that are possible as a result of going through my program. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So like for you guys, think about it. So depending on your niche, your clients may, instead of talking about like the tests that you do and on about like the technology of the lab that you use, for example, and, going down the rabbit hole talking about, all the different labs and how cool they are and how, you can identify imbalances in the microbiome and, things like that. People don't care. I mean, they care a little bit, but not a whole lot. What they really want to hear is that your program is going to help them improve their energy so they can, keep up with their grandkids, that it's going to lessen the severity and the frequency of their migraines so they can, stop missing out on life, right? Get back to living so they don't feel like they're missing out all the time on life. Or that, your program can help them to potentially lose that, stubborn 15 pounds once and for all so they can regain their confidence and feel really good in their own skin again, and finally get up the nerve to ask for that promotion, right? That's the stuff that's super exciting. And guys, these are not guarantees. I want to be really clear about that. You can't guarantee these things. No one can, right? You're just talking about what's possible, and that's assuming they do the work, right? Always assuming that they do the work. All right, so I'm going to just take a peek and see how we're doing on time. All right, guys. So I hope that was helpful. Let me do just a quick summary for everybody. Basically, the tips that I shared today, I shared a few tips, basically my secret sauce for boosting your sales without feeling salesy. And the first thing that we talked about was the importance of making sure that whatever it is you're selling really is positioned as an irresistible offer by just making sure that it addresses a very urgent and top of mind problem that your target market's experiencing, okay? So ideally, you're gonna do a little market research. You just wanna make sure that whatever it is, you're positioned correctly, because we can't assume that we know exactly what our target market's top of mind problems are, because it's from their perspective, not ours. Often we come from more of a clinical standpoint of feeling like we know what they need, but what they need is not always what they're willing to buy. And that's really the disconnect oftentimes in marketing and in sales, all right? So you wanna do your homework and make sure that whatever it is you're offering is positioned to solve an urgent problem that they are actually wanting to solve, all right? So that's the first one. And then the second thing we talked about is the importance of helping your client get over his or her own inertia and really helping them to get out of their own way in terms of actually just making a decision. So that's super important. And the way you can do that is by offering some really juicy bonuses. And we talked about two different types of bonuses. We talked about bonuses that create a sense of urgency. And again, these are really positioned to help people just really help them to make a decision. That's really what we want. We want them to make a decision that's in their highest good, of course, but it's really a nod to empowered decision making. And then the second type of bonus that we talked about is scarcity, okay? And scarcity is all about there being a limited quantity, and once they're gone, right? And so it really helps get people off the fence. So both of those ways are really important to help people, move forward, right? And it really, when you can position these bonuses as something that is going to be helpful for them and is ideally tied to, it needs to be connected to your main offer, right? So like there has to be a connection there, and ideally your bonus is positioned to help them to be more successful inside of your paid offer, all right? So hopefully that makes sense. And then the third really important tip that I shared today is that you are selling the destination and not the vehicle to get them there, all right? And we've talked about how important it is that basically the ratio of time that you're spending, whether it be, on a sales page or in a clarity call or, an email, whatever it is, people don't care so much about your unique process. They care a little bit, like 10%, but they don't care really that much more. What they really want to hear about is, will your process, will your program, whatever it is you're offering, will that help me get to the destination that I want? Will it help me achieve the transformations that I deeply desire? And that, my friend, is what gets people excited, all right? So, listen, guys, I do want to remind you that next week we kick off my special training, and I am going to, let's see here. There we go. All right, so you do see on the screen that you need to reserve your seat at leslibitel.com/fill your online course. So I am going to be sharing all kinds of really juicy information next week in a 4-part training. We're going to be meeting every day, and I'm going to be sharing basically the nuts and bolts on how to fill an online course or home study program. And so it's something that you're not going to want to miss. It's all about creating really effective sales funnels so that, basically you're taking a cold lead, someone that really doesn't know you all that well, maybe someone that that found you on social media, for example. And so the sales funnel is designed to help. I should have had my phone on silent there. That scared me. The sales funnel is really designed to help them to go from a cold lead into a customer, a paying customer. So be sure you grab your seat. We start on Tuesday of next week. And again, you go to leslibitel.com/fill your online course. All right, everybody, I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye for now.